Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. An emotional wound or shock, often having long-lasting effects. The act of damaging something or someone. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. The occurrence of a change for the worse. Cause or do harm to. These pills won't harm your system. The act of damaging something or someone. Feel physical pain. Were you hurting after the accident? Cause emotional anguish or make miserable. A damage or loss. Feelings of mental or physical pain. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. Feel pain or be in pain. Hurt the feelings of. She hurt me when she did not include me among her guests. Psychological suffering. Damaged. Used of inanimate objects or their value. Suffering from physical injury, especially that suffered in battle. Ambulances for the hurt men and women. Be the source of pain. Cause damage or affect negatively. Our business was hurt by the new competition. Give trouble or pain to. This exercise will hurt your back. A casualty to military personnel resulting from combat. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. An accident that results in physical damage or hurt. An act that causes someone or something to receive physical damage. Wrongdoing that violates another's rights and is unjustly inflicted. An emotional wound or shock, often having long-lasting effects. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. Psychology. A mental condition in which the qualities of a state are relatively constant even though the state itself may be dynamic. Psychology. A mental condition in which the qualities of a state are relatively constant even though the state itself may be dynamic. Psychology. A mental condition in which the qualities of a state are relatively constant even though the state itself may be dynamic. Psychology. A mental condition in which the qualities of a state are relatively constant even though the state itself may be dynamic. Come upon, as if by accident, meet with. An impact, as from a collision. The bump threw him off the bicycle. Knock against with force or violence. My car bumped into the tree. Assign to a lower position, reduce in rank. Remove or force from a position of dwelling previously occupied. Something that bulges out or is protuberant or projects from its surroundings. A lump on the body caused by a blow. Dance erotically or dance with the pelvis thrust forward. Bump and grind. Pain that feels hot as if it were on fire. Undergo combustion. Maple wood burns well. Use up energy. Burn off calories through vigorous exercise. Get a sunburn by overexposure to the sun. Cause to undergo combustion. Burn garbage. Shine intensely, as if with heat. The candles were burning. A browning of the skin resulting from exposure to the rays of the sun. Cause to burn or combust. The sun burned off the fog. Cause a sharp or stinging pain or discomfort. The sun burned his face. Burn, sear, or freeze tissue, using a hot iron or electric current or a caustic agent. A place or area that has been burned, especially on a person's body. Create by duplicating data. Burn a CD. Destroy by fire. They burned the house and his diaries. An injury caused by exposure to heat or chemicals or radiation. Damage by burning with heat, fire, or radiation. The iron burnt a hole in my dress. Damage inflicted by fire. Execute by tying to a stake and setting alight. Witches were burned in Salem. Feel hot or painful. My eyes are burning. Feel strong emotion, especially anger or passion. She was burning with anger. Spend significant amounts of money. He has money to burn. An injury that doesn't break the skin but results in some discoloration. The action of bruising. The bruise resulted from a contusion. Destruction of tissue by freezing and characterized by tingling, blistering and possibly gangrene. The act of disrupting an established order so it fails to continue. The social dislocations resulting from government policies. An event that results in a displacement or discontinuity. A displacement of a part, especially a bone, from its normal position, as in the shoulder or the vertebral column. A reflex response to the passage of electric current through the body. Subjects received a small electric shock when they made the wrong response. The use of electricity to administer punishment or torture. They used cattle prods to administer electric shocks. Trauma caused by the passage of electric current through the body, as from contact with high voltage lines or being struck by lightning, usually involves burns and abnormal heart rhythm and unconsciousness. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. It was a nasty fracture. Fracture a bone of. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. The act of cracking something. Become fractured. The tibia fractured from the blow of the iron pipe. Break, a bone. Break into pieces. The pothole fractured a bolt on the axle. Interrupt, break, or destroy. Fracture the balance of power. Violate or abuse. This writer really fractures the language. Destruction of tissue by freezing and characterized by tingling, blistering and possibly gangrene. The flow of blood from a ruptured blood vessel. The flow of blood from a ruptured blood vessel. Lose blood from one's body. A painful wound caused by the thrust of an insect stinger into skin. Entry of foreign matter into a blood vessel. An injury to living tissue, especially an injury involving a cut or break in the skin. Any localized abnormal structural change in a bodily part. Injury incurred when an object, as a knife or bullet or shrapnel, penetrates into the body. Injury incurred when an object, as a knife or bullet or shrapnel, penetrates into the body. Irritate as if by a nip, pinch, or tear. The pain is as if sharp points pinch your back. Make off with belongings of others. Cut the top off. A sudden unforeseen crisis, usually involving danger, that requires immediate action. A slight but appreciable amount. Make ridges into by pinching together. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. A small sharp bite or snip. A squeeze with the fingers. Squeeze tightly between the fingers. He pinched her behind. An injury resulting from getting some body part squeezed. A painful or straitened circumstance. The pinch of the recession. Strip of feathers. Pull a chicken. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. He was sidelined with a hamstring pull. Perform an act, usually with a negative connotation. Pull a bank robbery. Remove, usually with some force or effort, also used in an abstract sense. Pull weeds. Special advantage or influence. The chairman's nephew has a lot of pull. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. The ad pulled in many potential customers. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Pull out a gun. A slow inhalation, as of tobacco smoke. Take sides with. Align oneself with. Show strong sympathy for. I'm pulling for the underdog. Tear or be torn violently. Pull the cooked chicken into strips. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. A declining dollar pulled down the export figures for the last quarter. The act of pulling. Applying force to move something toward or with you. The pull up the hill had him breathing harder. Cause to move by pulling. Pull a sled. Strain abnormally. I pulled a muscle in my leg when I jumped up. A device used for pulling something. He grabbed the pull and opened the drawer. Apply force so as to cause motion towards the source of the motion. Pull the string gently. A sustained effort. It was a long pull but we made it. Hit in the direction that the player is facing when carrying through the swing. Pull the ball. Move into a certain direction. The car pulls to the right. Operate when rowing a boat. Pull the oars. Rein in to keep from winning a race. Pull a horse. Steer into a certain direction. Pull one's horse to a stand. Take away. Pull the old soup cans from the supermarket shelf. The force used in pulling. The pull of the moon. Separate or cause to separate abruptly. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. State of being torn or burst open. The act of making a sudden noisy break. A painful wound caused by the thrust of an insect stinger into skin. A mental pain or distress. Operation designed to catch a person committing a criminal act. The police conducted a sting operation. Deliver a sting to. Cause a stinging pain. Cause a sharp or stinging pain or discomfort. A kind of pain. Something as sudden and painful as being stung. The sting of death. A swindle in which you cheat at gambling or persuade a person to buy worthless property. Saddle with something disagreeable or disadvantageous. Cause an emotional pain, as if by stinging.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.